Hello. Happy Saturday. Welcome to week 15 of 2022. I've got cheese with me here. How do you feel? Oh my gosh, don't rub your face on that. I was hoping she'd meow. Oh my goodness. Close up. I have a tail on my arm now. So, happy Saturday. She's been getting kitty cuddles all morning. And she is both excited and upset that I changed positions. It's about 12:40. And I have had just kind of been enjoying my lazy Saturday morning. So, I'm not going to worry about the quest calendar now because it's not really where I can reach it easily. Her tail is now on the microphone. What are you doing? All right. Now things are wrapped around her. So, this morning I finally started Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first time I'm reading Sarah J. Maas. And I'm really enjoying it so far. It's been a little bit since I've read a straight fantasy book, and let me grab my Kindle. 10% in, I'm on chapter 7. And it's like there are this like typical fantasy names. They're very clearly not normal, like English, and I'm not sure exactly what her like root is for her naming, but I am really enjoying it. And I'm finding even though there are like fantasy names, it's very easy to read. I honestly haven't been reading for very long. So the fact that I'm already 10% in, I feel like is pretty good. I meant to pick it up early, like first thing this morning after I made breakfast. But while I was making breakfast, I started listening to one of my Married at First Sight podcasts. And then because I saved it and the other podcast, because I listened to 2 podcasts and then like a YouTube podcast for it, just to get like different perspectives and things. But I listened to then the other one while I played games on my phone. And I was like, I could do something more productive, but I was like, I just want to listen to this and play on my phone. So I did, but I did my Step Back Saturday post and my blog weekly wrap up and all that stuff. But anyway, so I didn't start it till like an hour-ish ago. Maybe a little less than an hour. But yeah, so not too bad. I did see that it was like 500-ish pages, so it's fairly long, and that it's, I think, 55 chapters. So it's a thick boy, and that's partly why I waited and didn't pick it up last week during the week, because I wanted time to just sit and get through as much as I can, because sometimes with fantasy, it takes me a little bit to really get sucked into it, but once I'm into it, it flies by. But I'm not having that problem with this. I was pretty much in from the get-go. So we've got, oh really? I'm sorry. I did not mean to touch you. I'm going to go with Selena. I don't know if it's a hard C or not, but I'm going to go with Selena. Could be Kalina. I don't know. We'll go with it. So Selena she's only 18, and she is like a notorious assassin. She's known as the assassin of, I'm guessing it's like country, and the continent is, what is Ilar? Let me rewind. See, I should have just taken notes. I usually try to. Oh, yeah, So she's the assassin of Darlin. That's an interesting word. It doesn't roll off the tongue easily. And it seems like the king of Adarlan is who sent her to like the salt mines to be a slave when she was caught as being an assassin. And he's basically outlawed and destroyed magic. Now, what it sounds like to me is that like magic and fae beings and like creatures of magic basically saw the writing on the wall and went into hiding. And so she says that magic basically ceased to exist because nobody believed in it anymore. And she says, including the magic in my own blood. So here's my prediction. I have not read blurbs. I have seen that some of the booktubers I follow have started their rereads of Throne of Glass, and I haven't watched any of those videos yet because I wanted to go into this as completely blind as I could be. I do know a little bit more about ACOTAR because there were some booktubers that I watched that read it last year. So I do kind of know. I recognize some of the names, and I know it from the Heaving Bosoms podcast has done some episodes on the ACOTAR books, but Throne of Glass I haven't heard quite as much about because I think it's technically YA, and then it gets more romancy at the end is what I've heard. But I'm kind of liking pairing her up with the prince, the crown prince. But I feel like it might be a love triangle between Selena, the crown prince, and his guard, who's basically the one that she's shackled to the entire time. But anyway, like I was saying, this is, I think, technically young adult. So a lot of the romance booktubers I follow haven't talked about it recently because it's not new. But I had the same thing with Twilight. Twilight was a little bit after my time from in high school. I think I was in college when it came out, and I remember my sister reading them. But like I've said in previous videos, I never, even when I was in high school, I was reading adult. I never really read young adult. I read children's books and like chapter books, like Babysitter's Club and stuff like that, when I was like in first and second grade and third grade and stuff. But then once I kind of graduated from that, I went straight into like adult books, partly because that's what we had at my house. They were either kids' books or my dad's books. So, but yeah. So I never really got into young adult, and once I kind of became more aware of young adult and young adult fantasy, I was already reading adult fantasy, and it just didn't really quite interest me. But I'm excited to like finally see what all the buzz is about Sarah J. Maas, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the writing style. I'm liking the way. I'm really loving the dichotomy of Selena and how she has in her mind, like, oh, I could just string this guy up and, hang him from a tree, or all I need to do is just do twist in this one tiny little way and I can steal this guy's sword and have him and two of his buddies bleeding out, but I don't know about the rest of them. And but she doesn't take those actions. And because she's also been deprived of sun for almost like a year, I'm loving her, like almost wanting to be soft and wanting to allow herself to be soft and just escape into nature. But here's my prediction. She's some sort of princess or royalty or prophesized person or something special like that. And I think it's going to have to do with like fae or magic or another like kingdom thing. And then when the current king of Darlin, It's such a weird name. Started burning things and basically terrorizing people, that when she was made an orphan and found on like a riverbank kind of a thing, but who trained her to be an assassin, I'm guessing she knew it was better to stay with him and not be free because of who she really is. And she does kind of talk a little bit about nobody knows her real name. I'm intrigued. So I'm going to read a little bit more. In like 15-ish minutes, I've got Jenn from the Book Refuge's monthly Faded Friend Hangout. So I'm excited to check in with everybody there and have more fun book talk with people. I love all the live shows that I've been doing here lately. They're just so much fun. I love talking with people about books, which is why I started a booktube. But anyway, I'm going to read it as much as I can and then do the Faded Friend Hangout. And then I'm going to get back to reading because the Avalanche game isn't till 8 o'clock tonight, I think. It's at like 7 or 8. No, I think it's 8 o'clock because I think pregame is at 7:30. So I've got a huge chunk of time this afternoon to read. So I'm going to get as far as I can into... I almost said a quart of Throne of Glass, but that's not it. Hi! A Throne of Glass. And I'm going to get some kitty cuddles while I do it. Yeah? Do you want to say hi to everybody? Say hi, I'm Cheesy. You want to meow? I bet if I scream, if I grab you. Yep. If you watched the end of last week's vlog, my closing clip, she was screaming at me there. Hi. Okay. So, I will let you go and stop rambling at you. But so far, I'm liking it. We'll see what happens. Hello. It is now just about 7 o'clock. And I thought I should probably stop and make an update. I am now 65% through. And I'm just about to start chapter 35 of Throne of Glass. And oh my gosh, I am loving this. I'm really enjoying this. I'm like, I want to know what's going on. And I have all of these theories and all of these like, it's so fun. It's so fun. And like the romance is like, you can kind of see that it's starting to build, but it's not like a forefront plot yet. But I'm really enjoying this. It's been a long time since I've read a fantasy where the fantasy is the main point and it's not like a fantasy romance. And I'm really enjoying this. This is really good. I love the way that she writes. It just sucks you in. And it's just so... I'm having so much fun reading this. And I have barely been able to put it down. I didn't want to put it down when we had the Faded Friend hangout. And when I checked in earlier, I thought I only had a few moments to it, but it was an hour later than I thought it was going to be. So I had like an hour and 15 minutes, and I did not want to put it down to do the Faded Friend hangout, but that's okay. It was fun. And then I immediately picked it back up, and then Cheese was just like, all right, it's dinner time. And so then I fed her, and then I watch something while I eat. I'll put on like YouTube, or I'll find something on my DVR to watch, and I was like, no, I want to read more. And then I actually read while my dinner was cooking. And usually I just listen to podcasts or music or something, and then I just kind of take care of other minor chores in the kitchen if I need to, or just kind of do little minor things. But nope, I read because I was just like, I need to know what's happening. So I do have to say, I do have the paperback versions of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I don't have the newest one, Nessa's book, but I do have the paperback version pre-ordered. I think I'm gonna have to get the versions of these now because I am freaking enjoying this. So I'll have to try to see. I know that there's been a couple different cover iterations, and I know that a lot of people do, like, for the Sarah J. Maas books, they do, like, special artwork dust jackets for the hardbacks. And I don't really collect the hardbacks. But depending on how this goes and depending on prices of what I can find used, I might have to get the hardbacks and then look into getting pretty dust covers. But or I can look into both, but I definitely prefer paperbacks for sure. So yeah, like I said, 65% in. I am loving Selena. I'm loving her friendship with the princess. I want to say it's like, see, I should take notes, but I've been so sucked into it, I haven't even been taking notes. And it starts with, it's NEH. I don't know. I could spend forever scrolling. But I can kind of see where she would be kind of paired up with the, like, head of the guard, Captain Westfall. And I think his name's Cole? Oh, it might be Cole. It's just written weirdly. I'm going to go with Cole instead of Chol. But so I like their banter, but I see it more as a friendship. And maybe it's because in my mind I'm already pairing her with Dorian, the Crown Prince. But I can see if she ends up with him, why she would end up with him. And this is one thing I hate about love triangles, is if there's someone that you like more, someone always has to lose. And I dislike love triangles, and it's not really a love triangle, but they're both kind of getting jealous of the other one spending time with her. But I like her and Dorian. I still feel like she is related or somehow royal or of nobility or something from the continent that she was from, that was the first to be taken over by Dorian's father. We've also, God, there's so much been going on. I don't know what's going on with the first king and his half elf or his half fae wife coming to Ceylana. How was I saying it? Selena is what I was saying. Selena. Although it could be Selena. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Selena still. But how she could... She's been tasked to find something evil and to become the champion. And then we got this court girl, and there's something going on with her. And then the Duke, and then there's Kane, the other champion, and all these other champions are, like, getting murdered by monsters or something. And it's just like, and now there's the word things and this, like, ancient religion. Like, there's just so much going on. But I'm really liking it, and I'm really intrigued. And I'm just really enjoying myself so far. So I kind of looked a little bit, when I took a little bit of a break earlier. I was updating my Goodreads. And then I decided to kind of look at the ratings from some of my friends and some of their reviews. And I didn't reread the reviews, but I just kind of glanced at them. And a lot of them were like 4 stars. This is her first book. This is the first book in the series. It only gets better from there. And as someone who hasn't read her other series, and this is the first I'm reading of her, and I'm going in blind, I am just like, it gets better than this. Like, I can't wait. I am excited. It's kind of like, I feel like what happened with the Kate Daniels series, where they were like, the first book, hi. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. She just came over to stand on me. She's got water on her chin. Oh, not anymore, huh? But, so yeah, so it's kind of like the Kate Daniels, where everybody's like, it gets so much better than this. But that first book was such a great first book in, like, a long fantasy series, and I just enjoyed it, and I was jumping in blind, and I'm getting kind of the same vibe right now, where, like, other people who have gone back to reread it, or have read ACOTAR and then came back to Throne of Glass, maybe weren't as happy with it, or it's coming from a romance reader. And while, I mean, I do wish there was more romance in it, for sure, because I knew that wasn't, like, the romance gets stronger at the end of the series going into this. I wasn't expecting anything at all, so the little bits and pieces we are getting, I'm happy with. But I'm really, really enjoying myself for this. So, unless things get completely, like, hog wild, I can see myself giving this, like, 4.5 or 5 stars. Just because I'm enjoying myself so freaking much. I'm just having a grand old time, for sure. So, yeah. But I just wanted to update, because I can see myself binging the rest of this tonight during the hockey game, and then just being like, surprised I finished it. So I thought I should do an update to just be like, I'm loving it. Hi, I'm loving it. Which I have now done. Also, I've been able to use I got a new booklight lamp. I was looking for one because I have an odd headboard. So I needed one that was able to, like, have a thicker clip that would stay. So I've been kind of looking at different styles of like book lights and things like that. And I found this one, and it was like $15, but they had like a 60% off coupon or something like that. So I paid like $7 or something, maybe less than that. But what's cool is it has a light, and it has 2 settings, but then it also has, like, white light and, like, yellow light. Whoa, that looks weird. And then it has, like, I don't know, half strength and full strength or whatever. But I use the white light normally, but I had it on high because I was filming. But anyway, I just wanted to show my cool new bed lamp. I got it because I have, like, one of the tiny little clippy night lights that I use when I read paperbacks late at night, but I needed something that was a little more powerful, or that I could, because I don't like it. It's made to clip on my book, but I don't like clipping stuff to my books, so I wanted something that I could clip to my headboard, and it took me a while to find the right clip that I would like, that I wouldn't feel like is, because I wanted to hook it on, like, the ridge and not to my, like, filigree, because I didn't want to damage the filigree. So I wanted it to be able to be thick enough to, like, clip onto here and not be, like, overly stressing out the spring. But yeah. Anyway, I'll link it down below if you're interested in it. I don't know if the coupon's still available or not, but even for $15, I absolutely am loving it. So it was a really good purchase. But yeah, so I'm going to keep reading. I've got, let's see, I've got about 20-ish minutes, just under 20 minutes until the pregame show starts. So I'm probably gonna get up, go to the bathroom, top off my iced tea cup, and then put on my jersey, and then just get settled in to watch the game and read some more. And I will be back later, because I did get the books that I mentioned earlier this week. They did show up today, which was fun. So I will I guess they're all in bags. I'll unbag those, and then also update you when I finish unless something crazy happens. But oh my gosh, I am excited, and I'm trying to have theories on who like the creature monster is, but I don't really know. And I feel like there's a lot of little threads, but the threads can go literally to anyone. So while I have ideas on who it might be, I like that I'm not just like, oh yeah, it's this person. It's got to be this person. So I'm enjoying it. But anyway, I'll see you all later. Bye. Happy Sunday. It is early Sunday afternoon, and I just wanted to come in and do a little update. I'm working on making some protein little bites because I haven't made them for a while, and I've been wanting something that's cheaper and just different than protein bars for work. But the ones that I used to make, they're super duper simple. So it's 2/3 a cup of creamy peanut butter, a cup of just like oats, and then 2 tablespoons of honey, and then you can do like a half a cup of like flax seeds or chia seeds or something like that, but I just did extra oats today, so it'll just be 3 ingredients base. And then I decided I doubled my recipe, so I have cranberries and coconut, so I'm going to do half cranberry coconut, and then I got some dark chocolate chips. I might do, on the chocolate chip one, I might do half dark chocolate chips, half dark chocolate chip, half coconut, so then it's kind of like a Mounds bar-ish. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but then that's 3 different mixes, but I'll just split my normal mix in half. I don't mind, but yeah, so I'm working on that. And then even though it's kind of early, I was thinking of doing my lunch prep for the week, which I don't know if you care about, but I always kind of debate on what I'm going to do. And then I usually ask my boss because I just make like a huge pot of whatever I'm making, and then I bring some for work. And then I usually have enough to bring an extra for my boss, so she has food too for a day. But so this week I wanted to do another pasta, but I didn't want to do like a heavy sauce. So we were kind of chatting, and so she was like, oh, you could do pesto. So I'm going to do a pesto with grilled chicken, and then I'll probably do peas. I was thinking either peas or green beans, but I think I'm going to do peas for a vegetable. And I'm just debating if I want to uncover my grill and do chicken on the grill or just do it in a pan. I could do one pot and grill it in the pan and then let it rest and cook the noodles and the pesto in the pan I cooked the chicken in. That'd be easier. So maybe I'll do that. We'll see. But anyway, I wanted to update because last night I finished Throne of Glass and it was super late, and oh my gosh, the Avalanche won last night, which is exciting. But they won not only in overtime, but in a shootout. But let me tell you, if I haven't seen a goaltenders game like that in a very long time. I mean, so last night they played the Edmonton Oilers, and the first goal was like halfway through the third period. And then finally our like superstar Nathan McKinnon scored a goal, and that's how it was tied. And then, went to overtime, and our goalie Kemper was amazing. He saved 11 shots in overtime. And overtime's only like 5 minutes long. So that's like the normal shots, like what an average team will get in a 20-minute period. So let alone a 5-minute overtime. And then it went into shootout, and he made all 3 saves, and McKinnon was our first guy up in the shootout, and he won. And then I loved that it came down to Darcy Kemper winning the game because it was a goaltender's game, and the goaltender won the game for us. It was just, I hate overtime though. I get so stressed out and I start yelling at him, I don't know. It just gets me. But so the game wasn't over until like 11 o'clock. So it was a long game. But after, and then all my post game stuff ended about like midnight. So I finished about a little after midnight, but I wasn't going to worry about filming a clip because I was already in bed and half asleep at that point. But so Throne of Glass, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. Now, part of me really, really, really wants to give it 5 stars because my enjoyment level was so high, and I don't want to be influenced by everybody else on not giving it 5 stars because she gets so much better, which, I mean, if she gets better than that and her writing style gets better, I mean, okay. I feel like, I kind of mentioned it before, it helps that my expectations, I feel like, were a lot lower. And so because I didn't really know much going in, and I haven't read any of her books before. So I feel like starting with where she was, I enjoyed it a lot more than maybe somebody who's read ACOTAR or is a lot more aware of her writing style, or even her newer series. The second book just came out, I want to say House of Blood and Ashes, but that's not it. But the 2 books are houses, so I think it's Crescent City is the series. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. What made me drop it down from a 5-star is the stuff with Cole and Dorian? I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the wind. Holy crap. It almost sounded like, because we have a weird little plastic covering over our back porch. And so it sounds like when it's rainy. And I was like, I see blue sky out my kitchen window. Why is it rainy over there? But that's common in Colorado, especially where I'm in northern Colorado, is to like be rained on and see blue skies. But yeah, that wind is monster. But we're supposed to get snow. There's a chance of rain and snow almost every day this week. So we have a storm moving in. I know that. And Jenn had another live show today that was just kind of a random impromptu live show. And she said that she's getting a lot of rain up, and she's up in one of the Dakotas. She's up in Fargo. So I'm guessing that's the storm that's going to hit us next. But I didn't like and I get it, YA fantasy, and I know love triangles are a thing in YA, but I felt like if we weren't going to go the romance route, I don't know, it just like, if it is setting up a love triangle, it's like poorly set up, if that makes sense, because she very clearly, like, she talks about how, like, Cole is pretty and she has a good connection with Cole and he's very handsome, but she isn't like attracted to him, at least in her words, like she is to Dorian. So I don't even know if her romance ends up with either of these people, and I kind of figured out what was going on, and I'm going to talk about this non-spoilery. I had thoughts of who might be the bad guy, and they all were right. And I thought maybe it was 1 or 2 of them, but they're all being manipulated by one person. And I was like, holy crap, this went deeper than I expected. And I thought maybe one person was pulling the strings for another person, and maybe the other person was doing things that he didn't know, or the like head person was taking advantage of it, but there's a head person above him. And I was like, holy crap, what is happening? This is a lot bigger than I expected. And I'm a little sad. Like, I get seeing all of like the different tests that she had to do in the championship stuff might be getting old, but I did want like to see some of the tests. And I did like that her little friend Knox, when she finally was just like, this is who I am. I'm the a darling assassin. And he's just like, well, I could tell you weren't who you said you were, but holy crap. And then she's like, you need to escape. And I'm glad that they at least let Knox escape. But I don't know. I would have wanted to see more of the Tess, because it sounded like some of them were like super unique and cool. So I don't know. I would have wanted to see more of some of them. I understood the princess Fahina. See, I need to write these things down. I would have liked it if she, like, I liked the friendship that they had, and I liked that she was obviously there to do more and do more kind of the spying thing. But then I feel like she thought she was there to do the spying. Selena did. And I was like, well, you thought she was there to do spying, and then you kind of got a little paranoid, and I get it. She got paranoid because champion contenders were dying left and right. But I was just, I don't know. I feel like the relationship that she had with Fahima, it would have made sense for her to kind of confront her sooner. I don't know. And I also didn't understand, like, it seemed like Dorian, and I get it, that's Cole's job. He's the King's Guard dude. He's the head of the King's Guard. And so it's his job to kind of keep things, like, under wraps, so to speak. But I did wish that, I don't know, he was a little too harsh on Selena. But then at the times that he wasn't, it was like almost the complete opposite. And I felt like he kind of needed a middle ground. And I don't know. And maybe it's just the, like, vibes that I'm getting of Dorian, where he's just so bored and he knows his father is doing horrible things and he doesn't want to be a part of his father doing horrible things. And, like, he understands how upset Fahima was when we found out that the rebels from her country against Dorian's father were massacred unnecessarily. Which was another thing that I didn't understand, I guess, is Dorian seemed very aware of, and while maybe not 100% aware of every tiny little minutia detail, he at least was aware of, I feel like, the slavery going on and the different issues that his father was creating. And he seemed a little more, maybe not sympathetic, but just aware and judgmental, I guess, of his father and how the situation for, like, the peasants and the common folk were. And, like, he wasn't surprised by some of the things that Selena shared with him. However, Cole, who's the King's Guard, and yes, he is of nobility, and we find out he gave the title, he basically abdicated the title to his younger brother to be lord of whatever place he's from up north, and to be the King's Guard because he wanted to be in the main city. That's what he enjoyed, and he wanted to be the King's Guard, and he wanted to be with Dorian, his, like, only friend in life. But he wasn't, like, he was oblivious. And I kind of, like, going into, I thought I had to sneeze. Going into, whoa! Oh my gosh, I just completely sprayed stuff everywhere. Going into the book, or I feel like this kind of trope of books, usually it's like the princely character that's a little bit more naive or just unaware of how things really are for people. And in this case, it was his head of the guard. Although his head of the guard wasn't like a commoner who like joined the military kind of a thing. So I enjoyed that was different. But at the same time, if Dorian was aware of these things and he was, you know, visiting these different places, and it talks about how he and Cole kind of talk to each other and they're really the only people that they can open up to each other about. If Dorian knew all this and like Cole was his confidant, why wouldn't he know of some of these things? It just seemed odd to me that Cole was like, not only was he the more oblivious one, but he was completely oblivious. Like when he's talking to Elena about when she was being trained to be an assassin, and she mentions that she, you know, the king of the assassins trained her personally, and he made sure that she, you know, had all of the best training from every possible person that could train her in different ways that she would need, like different skills that she would need in her life. And then once she was fully trained, she was expected to basically work for him to repay off all the funds that was spent into training. And Cole is like completely astounded by this. He's just like, what? And she's just like, it's just like what happens with courtesans. She's like, they get all this training on how to pleasure a man and gracefulness trainings and all of these different things, and then once they start actually working, they work for whatever madame at the very least until they pay off the cost of their training. And he was completely astounded about that. And I'm like, I get this is a fantasy world, but like, if Dorian knew this and wasn't surprised by this and didn't need to be told that that's what happened, how is it that Cole is so unaware? But so anyway, it was tiny little things like that brought it down from a 5-star to me. But I still, like I said, I ate it up. I mean, I read it in one day. I mean, I would practically call it one sitting because, I mean, I got up to go to the bathroom and make food and stuff, but I did not put it down all day. But, so yeah, 4.5 stars. And then I did, I don't know where my mind just went. I did apply it to the Love Has Sprung reading challenge. And I know technically this book wasn't a culmination of a romance, but I know that it does kind of turn romancy. So I counted it. So I'm not going to count any of the little novellas for Love Has Sprung or any of my reading challenges, but I did use it for the new to me author prompt. So that's taken care of there. And then I applied it for the Taylor Swift quarterly challenge. I'm applying it to the prompt for the song 15, which is read a YA book, a book with teens, or I think it's a book with angst in it, but obviously they're teens and it's a YA fantasy. So yeah, so there's that. Next, I need to pick up the novella, and this one is The Assassin and the Pirate Lord is what we have to read for this next weekend's live show. So I will be picking that up probably later tonight, but because it's a novella, I wasn't going to push on it. I've been working on stuff this morning, and then like I said, Jenn had her impromptu live show earlier today, so I watched that while I worked on getting all my data and stuff uploaded for last week's vlog. So that's uploading to YouTube right now. This morning when I ate breakfast, I wanted to watch a Dead Files and there wasn't a new episode. So I was like, I'm going to pull up the Travel Channel app on my iPad and I don't know if it's free for everybody or if it's free because I log in with my DirecTV account, but They have most of the episodes on there for free. You just have to watch commercials. So I pulled up a couple of the episodes that I'm missing from season 2, which is a long time ago. And it's funny to watch the new episodes that are airing and go back to season 2 where they like explain every tiny little thing. And I feel like it's a lot more dramatic too with the music and stuff. And then I just wanted to watch Dead Files. So I watched 3 episodes this morning, and and then the first one I just ate breakfast and then watched it, and I was like, well, if I'm going to just sit here and watch TV, I should do something. So I started working on a cursive font for the crochet letter blocks that I talked about in last week's vlog about doing a blanket with quotes or first lines from a romance book or something like that. So I wanted to graph out what kind of lettering system I want. And I have a couple different ones that I have in my mind, because like one's more cursive-y and then the other one's more like my personal writing style where it's a mix of like the block and cursive. And then I want to do like a block font too, because I can't just do one. I always have to take it to the max. But I figured there's different books have different vibes. So if I have those 3 different fonts to choose from, I can choose which one kind of fits what the quote's about or what the book's about. But yeah. So I was like, I've been working on that all morning, and I got through the letter J on the super cursive one, and I'm doing capitals and lowercase letters. So it's fun. I haven't like gone back to like basic planning for craft stuff like that in a while. So it's been kind of fun to get out all my graph paper and my pencil and just kind of scribble and figure out how I want to do things. So yeah, no reading today yet, but I will do reading later. And then I need to do my quest calendar too. So I'll probably do that later, but I got my first one done. And so it's got cranberries and coconut. And then what I do after I mix it is I stick it in the fridge for like half an hour, because then once it's cool, it's easier to roll into little balls. And then I'll put out some wax paper after I get both of these in there. But I'm going to finish mixing up my other batch, and I will be back to update you once I have something to say, or something I told you I'm going to talk to you about. So probably the quest calendar and unbagging the books I got yesterday, even though I know what they are. I haven't opened them yet. So I need to do that because I want to do a post on Instagram with the Little Mermaid song where she's like, look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Because these are the rest of the paperback copies of an author that are of books that are like available for paperback right now. So I want to do a post like that on Instagram because I love it. So yeah, I'll be back later and I'll stop rambling at you. But yeah. Hello. It is 10 o'clock Sunday evening. I'm coming in just under the wire. I was going to get ready to go to bed and I was like, oh crap, I never filmed my quest calendar or unbagging. So we're going to do that real quick. But before I redo that, I just wanted to show you, I have been busy working on my lettering, like I mentioned earlier, and I finished 3 fonts. I may or may not try to do another one, but I'm done with them for now. So this is the first one. So this is A through S, I think. And then this is T through Z. And then the second font that I was working on. And then this is N through Z, and then the beginning of the third font I was working on. Ah. And then this is the rest of the third font. Oop. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with them. The third font is the shortest, but I think it's my favorite. And I don't know, I like them all, but in different ways. Like the first one has a lot of the slant, so it's a little more cursive-y, but I feel like that's harder to make look connected when it's actually in projects. So, and I like the second font a lot, but the capitals for it, I don't know. I did them all in pencil on regular graph paper, so I can kind of adjust them. But when I actually put together a pattern for a blanket, I will definitely be adjusting, and I'll probably at that point do it on like Stitch Fix or an Excel spreadsheet, which I use I use either of those for my crochet graphs. And then I can actually get the words out and figure out spacing and all that, and then adjust letters as I need to. But I at least wanted to get my basics, like the base fonts done, and I'm happy that's done. So now I just need to try to find some quotes or something like that, and then do a test blanket. And I don't know which book to choose, but yeah, I'm super excited for this new project. And should I be finishing other projects I have in progress? Probably, but I don't know. I'm really excited for this one, and I'm hoping that I have colors that I need. I'm sure that I do. I'm sure you've seen all of my Tupperwares of yarn in the corner. What you probably don't know is I also have in my closet has a bunch of yarn, although I have some yarn in like the shoe storage hanging bags, and I have some bags, like these bags in the top of my closet here. You can kind of see this World Market one here. Those are mostly yarn that is either for a work in progress, or it's yarn that I specifically bought for a specific project. So instead of just adding it to my stash, I left it in its own little bag. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I didn't do any reading so far today, but I haven't done like deep crafting like that since probably Christmas, so it was nice to kind of do something else for a little bit and just kind of keep my brain refreshed and ready for more reading. So tonight, after I get ready for bed, I will definitely start, if not finish, the novella that's for this week's SJM Readalong, and it is the first one, and I believe it is the Assassin and the Pirate Lord is the one I think it is. So I will start that tonight, but let me stop rambling and we will do the quest calendar. So last week we ended up traveling to Dawn Hollow. It's partially or partway into our way that we are journeying to learn more about these stones for the gates. And since we are starting a new week, oh my gosh, I haven't been talking, but my voice is all crackly. But we are doing the Quest Calendar 2022 Gates of Terralon. This is a like tabletop role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons inspired daily calendar. And I will show you our character because it is a new week. We are playing as Savani Moonchaser, who is a feline monk. And she is awesome and I love her. Okay, so let us see what this weekend brings. Okay. So it looks like we are either approaching Dawn Hollow or we are leaving Dawn Hollow. So I don't know. I know last weekend we arrived or we traveled there. So I don't know if we're in Dawn Hollow, but let's see what it says. You come to a crossroads along the main road. It appears that the directional sign for Dawn Hollow has fallen off the post. Upon further inspection, it appears to have been vandalized and rearranged. None of the directions are pointing where they should go. Use what you know to place the signs back on the posts to point in the correct direction. Okay. So, all of our information is on the back of the previous day. Use what you know to place the signs back on the posts. So the signs are Grey Cliff, Dawn Hollow, Scorched Sands, Dark Vein, Terret Shade, and Copper Set. Directions northeast, south, west. Okay, so hints. Looking at the post, there are 3 signs pointing east or west. All directions have at least one sign pointing towards them. You just came from Grey Cliff and have been traveling west just before the crossroads. Think back to your conversation with Gregorum the Wise, and Terret Shade is in the same direction as Copper Set. So, all right. I'm going to pull when we met with Gregorum the Wise. Okay, so, all right, so first things first, we know, let me get a pen here. Since we are traveling to Dawn Hollow, and we came from Grey Cliff, and we have been traveling west. So I would say that Dawn Hollow is to the west, and Grey Cliff is to the east. Although Dawn Hollow may not be to the west from here, because this is the crossroads. But think back to your conversation with Gregorum the Wise. So, okay, so you will need to travel to the Scorched Sands and arid desert south of Dawn Hollow. So that is south. So that leaves us with Dark Vein, Terret Shade, and Copper Set. And we know that Terret Shade and Copper Set are in the same direction. And one of them has to be together. Or those two have to be together. Well, actually, we're at the crossroads, so I don't think Dawn Hollow is west. What? Do we have our map from the day before? So we were traveling, okay, so our map was from Grey Cliff to Dawn Hollow. So while we were going kind of a little bit parallel, we also were mostly going south. So I'm going to actually say that Dawn Hollow is south. And then the Scorched Sands are further south. So that means Terret Shade and Copper Set have to be the same. So they are either north or west. And then Dark Vein is either north or west. So that gave it, so thinking back that on what we talked to with about Gregorum, that gave us the Scorched Sands are to the south. So that's a-okay. Okay. I don't know if there's a hint in the picture. Use what we know. Dark Vein and Tarot Shade. Okay. Impact your conversation with Gregorian the Wise. Tarot Shade is in the same direction as Copper Set. See, Dark Vein sounds familiar. I don't know if I want to go through all of those, though. I feel like when we went up to deal with like that mansion or something like that, or where we traveled from the beginning, we went through Dark Vein, I feel like. I feel like we've heard of Dark Vein before. So because that's north, I'm going to go with it's north because we've been traveling south and west. So I'm going to say Dark Vein is north. And since one has to go in each direction, that means that Tarot Shade and Copper Set are both west. We will see. All right, so, and the answer is on the bottom. So Grey Cliff is east. Okay, we got that one right. Dawn Hollow is south, and the Scorched Sands are south, so we got those right. Dark Vein is north. We got it right. Okay, and then Tarot Shade and Copper Set are both west. Wow. That was a little bit of a tough one, because if you don't remember Dark Vein, and who knows if I even remember Dark Vein, and maybe we just guessed it right, but sweet. Okay. A small magical sprite emerges from the signpost. It snickers in amusement and congratulates you on fixing the sign. It then gives you 10 gold and blesses you with the god's blessing. You may re-roll a single die roll once. Once you do, you must take the new roll regardless of the result. You then lose the god's blessing. Cool. Well, that's fun. All right, so I will make notes of that on my character sheet, and let us quickly open my packages, and we will see. We'll see which one I open first, because even though I put like delayed, you can send them, like you can take a couple extra days to get them to me, so to save on packaging, I ordered these 3 books, and then I needed to get a birthday present, and they all came in separate packages. Which was like pointless. Here is book 1. Parks and Provocation by Juliet Cross. Of course I had to get the paperback copy. It didn't show up as being available until the release day, but of course I immediately had to get it. So I officially have both books in the Green Valley Heroes series, and I have Juliet Cross's. Oh, it was so good, and I love it. Okay, and I just got a notification that I am almost out of battery. My battery is dying, so I'm just going to open these really quickly. We will go through. So, of course, I picked book 3. I also got book 3 by Juliet Cross. This is Bound in Black of the Vessel trilogy. This is the new re-edited, re-released version. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then the last one I got, which I'm sure you probably can guess what it is, since I already mentioned they're all by the same author. I got the second book in the paperback for the Vessel trilogy, and that is Sealed in Sin in this really pretty purple. So the first one was red, and then we've got the purple and the blue. And they are absolutely gorgeous. I'd grab book 1, but it's already on my bookshelf. The only thing is, this is a contemporary. So this would go on my shelf behind me, and I'd put it with all my other Smarty Pants romance. But because everything else I have of Juliet Cross is fantasy and sci-fi, it's all over in my other bookshelf. But that's okay. That's okay. So I'm going to quickly wrap up because my battery is dying. But I have now, except for the original paperback versions of the Vessel trilogy, I have everything in paperback by Juliet Cross that you can have as of this moment. So that's exciting. I'm excited. So I just had to show. And then I got Parks and Fabrication. I love it. I love it. Okay. I'm going to plug things in and get things charging, and I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you have a good Monday, and we will touch base. Bye. Hello. Happy Monday. Oh, it is Monday. I am in a different spot. I'm sitting on the floor by my contemporary romance bookshelf because I filmed a book tag that'll be up on this coming Saturday. And so I filmed the contemporary romance book tag. So I figured I'd sit on the floor so I can grab books as I talked and answered the questions. My goodness. She has been yelling at me. I took out my big Read by Moonlight. This is from Hello Lovely. I love these mugs. My mom had a mug like this when I was growing up that was like this weird, like, bright forest green color and like purple, and it was really weird looking. But these type of mugs I haven't seen in forever, but I love them. But I wanted a lot of iced tea, so I went with that one. But anyway, so let's do a quick update here. I finished last night The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun time. There was a little bit of a, not necessarily throwaway line, but it was just kind of a quick mention that Selena in Throne of Glass had talked about taking out a pirate lord and like freeing all of his slaves, kind of a thing. So this is that story of what happens. We also meet Sam for the first time, and we know in Throne of Glass that Sam had died. So it's a little bittersweet meeting him and seeing kind of how they were antagonistic to each other. And this is, I feel like, when that changes, because we know from Throne of Glass that Sam and Selena had kissed a couple of times, and she was still grieving for his passing before she went to the salt mine slave camp. But it was just, I mean, it was a fun time. She was there to do some business and with the pirate lord, and then she ends up freeing his slaves, and it makes him sign this treaty agreement thing that he's not going to ever sell slaves again. And I mean, Selena just, it was fun seeing her in full assassin mode before she got captured. And it was super fun. 4 stars, like I said. It could have been longer, and it was like, I mean, it wasn't, I mean, it's a novella, so it's hard to be absolutely perfect with a novella, but for a fantasy romance novella, I thought it was great. So yeah, 4 stars. And then I did decide, because there is no specific like rules really with the Taylor Swift quarterly challenge, I am going to apply it to the quarterly challenge, because there's not a minimum page requirement, and they don't have to all be romances, even though it's in the romance readers group. That's not a stipulation for the specific challenge. So I'm going to use it for I wrote it down. I Knew You Were Trouble. And this is for read a book with a bad boy character or someone who does a bad thing. And I mean, we're dealing with pirates and slavery. So, I mean, there's lots of people that do lots of bad things in that novella. So there's that. Tonight, I plan on picking up Topaz. I was going to read Topaz this upcoming weekend, but somehow I missed the announcement, and it was talked about on the live show that we did for Aurelia Rider and Blood Air. And the dark romance readathon is this weekend, and I've been kind of in the mood for some dark romance lately. But I like the end of the month is always harder, or like the middle to the end of the month is always a little more stacked for me with book clubs, because a lot of them meet at the end of the month or the middle of the month. So I'm going to try to read Topaz this week, and then I'm going to hopefully read some dark romance this weekend. It is also Easter weekend, and I have some plans, but we will see. But it runs through from the 15th through the 18th. So it's that Friday through next Monday. So depending on what happens, I might, I'll probably be cutting this vlog short so I can get the dark romance readathon on by itself. And I might do a vlog of just the dark romance readathon by itself, just so I can separate out the readathons. I think I'm going to try to do that moving forward. And then sometimes there'll be like 2 vlogs in a week. But let's do the quest calendar, and we'll go from there. All right. So yesterday we found the signpost and we tried to fix it. Sorry for the lighting. There we go. I was trying to use natural lighting, and now the sun is going down behind my head, but it's also getting super cloudy now. So, there's a wounded animal. Let me see if I can get it. It's a stag. That's a little sad. All right. You continue your travels and spot a wounded animal lying in the middle of the road next to the forest. It is hard to tell if the animal is alive from where you stand, but there is something protruding from its hind leg. An arrow, perhaps? Maybe it is being hunted. So A, stand back to see if anything claims its prey. Roll a d20 plus dexterity, reminder stealthy. B, help the wounded animal. Roll a d20 plus wisdom, reminder animal tamer. And C, put the animal out of its misery. Roll a d20 plus attack. Well, no, we're not putting it out of its misery. I mean, I want to help the animal because we are a feline. So we are a cat person. So we can either hide and see if we can figure out what hunted the stag, or try to help. I think I'm going to help the stag. We just got to help the stag. And it says reminder animal tamer, which is something that we do have. And our wisdom, so that is a +1, so a total of +3. But then our warrior follower also gives us another +2 for animal tamer. So we get a +5 to this. So yeah, we're going to definitely try to help the wounded animal. Let me pull out my bus. All right, I'm trying to see if I can get the d20 without pouring everything out. That is a d12. There we go. There it is. All right. So let's see. You slowly approach the animal. You sense its fear and hear it whimpering. It is clearly in pain. Alrighty. That is a 12, so 17. If the result is 11 or more. You soothe the animal before you try to pull out the arrow. It whines but remains calm. You then apply pressure to the wound to stop the bleeding. You hear sounds from the forest and see the shaking of trees and bushes. As you look up, the animal begins to hobble away. Whatever is coming to claim its meal will likely be focused on continuing the hunt. Gain a +2 to defense in combat tomorrow. Okay, so we are fighting tomorrow. And we get a +2 to our defense. So that's good. That's good. We help the deer. Hopefully it's enough that it can survive. We at least stopped the bleeding. Alrighty. So I'm going to make a note for our defense. I am, like I said, I'm going to try to pick up topaz tonight. But I want to get another video that I have pre-edited uploaded to YouTube, and just get that done ahead of time, so then I don't have to really worry about anything, and try to stay above or ahead of the pace, just in case something happens like this weekend when I'm super busy. So I'm going to wrap up here. I'm going to make notes of my defense. And yeah, I think that's all I have now. But once I get a little bit into topaz and have something to update you on, I will let you know. Until then, bye. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday. I got my tea. I made a new batch of tea last night. It's really good. It's a rooibos vanilla chai iced tea. And then I used my vanilla bean flavored sugar when I did my brewing. And just for just a touch of sweetness. Oh, it's so good. It's really good. I hadn't tried like a chai iced tea before, but I really, really like it. It's from Adagio. So, I mean, are you surprised? 99% of my teas come from Adagio. But I don't have any reading updates because I was going to start Topaz last night. I pulled it up on my Kindle and I read like the first page, and then I was like, oh yeah, the CMT awards are on. So I put them on and I figured I could read and watch like I did with the Grammys. And guys, the CMT awards, way, way better. I was enjoying the performances. I feel like they did a lot of their awards beforehand, and then like only like the 5 big awards they did during the show. So it was like mostly concerts and musical performances, and I loved it. It was great. I mean, I like country music a lot more than pop music. There's very few, I'm very picky with my pop music that I like, but yeah, it was really good. There were some amazing performances, and I love Maddie and Tay. They're one of my favorite country artists, and Maddie had me in tears and laughing last night because it was so excited that they won Duo Video of the Year. And when she saw Tay on the video, because Tay couldn't be there with her new baby, and which has been a whole other heartbreaking and inspiring story in its own of what she went through to have her baby. She started crying, and then she was like, I'm drunk, or I drank some wine because I was nervous or something. I love Maddie and Tay, and it made me, it's like, this is why I love them. So yeah, I did not start Topaz, I said it weird here. But we're going to do the quest calendar, and then I have some editing to do, and then I will start Topaz tonight. So, yesterday, why is this covered in cat food? Yesterday we had the little deer that we found that was, or I guess it's a stag because it has antlers, and then we helped it, and so we got a +2 to our defense. So we are going to do some fighting today for show. So let us see. Okay, that is not what I expected us to be fighting. I was thinking like hunters, not this troll dude. Okay, so a large troll emerges from the woods. It was hunting the wounded animal, but has now found a larger and tastier meal that will fight back. Alrighty, so according to the table, this will be 1 creature, but 4 rounds. So our d20 plus our attack, and then we will roll damage. So I'm going to put this aside. And we do get +2 from yesterday's to today's defense, which is nice. And our attack is a +5. So I'm going to get out my D20. And our damage. We leveled up. Our damage is now 2d6. Hey, 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 look at that. I only have 1 in my set, but we will just roll it twice. Or actually, hold that thought. I have my Yahtzee dice here, so I'm going to pull out one of these D6s. And we'll use this teal one, because it matches the set I have. Cool. So we can roll 2 at a time, which is always fun, even though there is a size difference. But that's okay. Alrighty, so first round. We are at a +5 on the troll. That is a 17, so we are at a 22. Okay, so we needed a 13. Okay, so we will roll damage. Ooh, double 5s, heck yeah, so that is 10 damage. Alright, damage roll is 7 or more. The troll is stunned, so perfect. Round 2 is an 11, so 16. And round 2, if your roll is 13 or more, perfect. So roll damage again. That is 9. I rolled a 6 and a 3. So damage roll is 6 or more, then it's stunned this round. Perfect. On to round 3. We are doing good. We are doing good. 16. And this one is an attack of 13 or more once again. So we will roll damage again. Ooh, that's a 10, a 6, and a 4. Nice. Damage roll is 6 or more. It is stunned. And then final round, round 4. And we rolled a 14. So that is a 19. So we were looking for a 13 again. Perfect. All right. And then the final round of damage. Oh no, I dropped one of my dice. And that is 8, a 5, and a 3. If our damage roll is 8 or more, ooh, we just barely got it on the last one. The troll dies. Nice. So we stunned the troll for 3 rounds, so we get 6 gold. And then we also killed the troll, which means we get 2 more gold. So we picked up 8 gold from this fight. And we have killed this troll. This guy, he's dead. I don't know why I said it like that, but all right. Well, that is all I have for now. So I will be back when I have something to update. I need to edit the book tag that I did yesterday, but it's going to be super quick. I just have to kind of adjust the audio a touch, trim the ends, add my ending clip, and then I do have a couple covers that I need to put on, but otherwise it's going to be a super simple edit, so I can get it hopefully exported tonight, and then that will be up next Saturday. So I am getting ahead and I'm excited for it. So I'm going to stop here and I will be back once I have something else to update you on. Happy Wednesday. It is just about 10:30 Wednesday night. The Avalanche game just ended. We won 9-3. 9-3. I am so amped up right now. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And we have officially broken the franchise record for games won in a single season, because last game we tied it at 52 and now we're at 53 and there's still 9 games left. I love it. It's so good. It is so good. Okay, anyway. I figured I should do an update because I'm like, oh, on Wednesdays I usually watch Moon Knight and I usually watch Married at First Sight. The game was on tonight, and then it's a rare home and home back and back. So tomorrow night they're playing again, but it was so fun. They scored the 9th goal with about 10 minutes left in the game, and the crowd chanted, "We want 10," and I was like, yes, please. But then they kind of like took it a little bit easy. Like, they didn't stop playing, but they did kind of back off a little bit, which is fine. I get it. We're playing again tomorrow night and we're coming up to the playoffs. We don't want to overdo it, but I mean, how often is the chance to get 10 goals in a game gonna come? McKinnon got a hat trick. We had like 3 different people with 2 goals. Makar is breaking records for points for defensemen. It's just, guys, this season, I have not seen a team this poised to win a Stanley Cup probably since the Avalanche won it in the 2000-2001 season. I can't wait till May. Hi. And I've been getting lots of kitty cuddles tonight. So let's do updates real quick. So we'll do the calendar first, and then we'll talk a little bit about book. So yesterday we fought the troll. So let's see what today is. Oh, really? You want to see? Look. Yeah. What do you think? I'm gonna mush that. Rubber face on it. Oh my goodness. Why are you pawing at me? Oh. Okay. So we are officially at Dawn Hollow. Why are you rubbing against things? I stopped paying attention to her for like 5 minutes, and it's like the end of the kitty world here. Okay. Dawn Hollow is a smaller town that sits on a lake between the nearby mountain ranges. Visit each place in the city. You will have a chance to rest tomorrow before continuing on your journey to find the lost library. We don't really need to rest right now, but so if there's something that pops up that uses resources, we might as well use them because we'll get a chance to rest tomorrow. So let me move things out of the way. My goodness, you are full of it. Boop. Oh. Okay, so farmer's market. You find a small but busy area of town where you can purchase foodstuffs. So that has meal rations available. We got a whole huge list here, so we're going to try to go through this quickly. A bowler's blacksmithy. A rough but strong dwarf woman is hammering away some iron at her forge. She can help improve your weapons for a price. Fortify is 30 gold, adds a +1 to all attack rolls. And Sharpen is 30 gold, adds +1 to all damage rolls. That's cool. And then we've got Toby's Topography. A kind old man is selling hand-drawn maps of the area that are quite nice. They are also marked with points of interest. Perhaps this man has been around the world to see all the sights. And it's map and compass, but we already have one, and we can only have it one, so that's fine. Okay. Mary's Medical Supplies. A couple of young elf children are running the shop while their mom is out collecting ingredients. So there is ointment, which removes wounds inflicted from death. Bandages, which removes injuries inflicted from death. Clarity, a potion of clarity, which removes trauma inflicted from death. And then an antidote, which removes poison. Are we going to come across death things? Because all of those are like targeted towards death, except for the antidote. But, all right, so my chi points can remove poison. So I'm not going to worry about the antidote. And then the ointment, bandages, and potion of clarity are all 10 gold each. So we could do those. And we can also use chi to give our defense a +4. So we could do sharpen, or no, that's defense. Okay. So we could either do a +1 to our attack or a +1 to damage. We have 66 gold, so I could do one of each and it's a max of +3, so we can start that. But I kind of want to get one each of the ointment, bandages, and potion of clarity, because if they're giving us health items specifically related to death, maybe there's something death related coming up. And maybe I'm getting a little too meta with it, but I feel like this is also the first time we've seen these specific items come up. And I know that some of these can be like removed when you rest after death. Okay, yeah, so when you die, you get a negative modifier, and it's either physical injury, mental trauma, or grievous wound. And I believe you get to choose. Or no, you roll a d6. So a 2 is some sort of physical injury, a 3 is a mental trauma, and a 4 is a grievous wound. So it's random on which one it affects. So, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it, because resting can remove those, and you only get one each time you die. So I think instead I'm going to use 60 gold, and I'm going to fortify, and I'm going to sharpen. So that'll give our attack rolls a +1 and our damage rolls a +1. Because static modifiers I feel like are always good to have. So I will update my stuff there, and that'll be fine. And I will make notes in a moment. So, book-wise, I don't have very much to say. I meant to start Topaz the last couple days, and it did not happen till the second intermission of the game. So I am only 7% into Topaz, but I need to finish it this week. And here is why. Next Thursday is Rake Appreciation. And usually I try to pick books up the weekend before. But this weekend is the Dark Romance Readathon. And it's also Easter. And I have plans on Easter Sunday. And because I have plans on Easter Sunday, a lot of my normal Sunday chores I'm going to have to do on Saturday. Which means I will have a little bit less reading time. I also wanted to get my summer and winter clothes kind of switched out, like my sweaters and my pajamas and like my bed sheets, because I have flannel bed sheets I use during the winter, and that's a project that takes a lot longer than I always expect it to, but that's fine. And I have some kind of cleaning up, organizing stuff I need to do with some yarn that's left over from some craft projects, and I need to de-kit a diamond painting that I finished, and so I kit them up when I do one, which means I kind of pull them all up, and it's kind of buried over there, but I have a little case that has little vials that I put each of the numbered diamonds in, and then once I finish it, I put them in like a mass storage of extra diamonds, and then I'll want to make sure that I get all of the correct color identifying numbers and everything correct, so I can identify the diamonds that I have correctly and put them back in my like collection. But I have them separated before I start a project, and I kind of want to kit something up and start something, or at least have something ready to start. But I don't know. I've been feeling crafty, and I kind of want to crochet as well, but I don't know what I want to crochet. I've got a couple different ongoing projects, and I have like a cute little tank top that I started last fall before I started doing Christmas stuff that I'd like to finish so I can wear that this spring and summer. But we'll see what I end up picking up, but I have been feeling the need and the urge to be kind of crafty here lately, so we'll see what I end up doing. But if I do pick something up, I'll try to film a little B-roll clip or something. But anyway, back to Topaz. So I am 7% in, and I'm not 100% sure what is happening yet. But I have to say, I've only read a few Beverly Jenkins, and this one has grabbed me the quickest out of the ones that I've read. She has been like a consistent 3.5, 4-star read for me. It's just a couple of the ones that I read, I felt like the romance was a little more secondary to the plot, and I wanted more from the romance aspect of it. But I enjoy her writing style, and for the most part, there was one of her older books where it got a little, like, it felt too much like a history book kind of a thing, and it didn't, like, we were going over historical events and things like that, and which is good to know for people who haven't learned different events and things that have happened in African American history in America and with the Civil War and things like that. But because it didn't really pertain directly to our characters, it felt like a little textbooky, if that makes sense. Like it was happening in states away from where our characters were. And I knew that, like, and I know that there's big, like butterfly effect, like everything affects everything else eventually, but I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it just felt a little too removed from the story that we were in, I guess would be the way to say it. But anyway, so I don't remember her name. Catherine. So we start out with Catherine Love, and she is trying to break into like a businessman, and I believe he's African American, but I'm not 100% sure. She says he's of the race, or he's an ally to the race or something like that, so I believe he is, but he basically is a con man, and he created printing plates that were printing stocks for a railroad to be built that was specifically allowed for African Americans to ride, and to kind of help combat the segregation issues. And it's false. He's creating fake stocks, and he is basically preying on older African Americans who are sinking like their entire life's accumulation of wealth into this and buying stocks and then disappearing, and all of these people are getting taken advantage of and losing all of their money pretty much. So she is after him. She is a newspaper woman for the Globe, and she went undercover to try to take this Samuel guy down, and somehow she's his fiance too. And so she was planning on stealing these plates with the help of a safecracker, and then and this is the night before the wedding, and then she was going to basically leave him at the altar and just not show up to the wedding, and they get caught, and so she is now kind of captured by him. And then we meet her father, and he is in trouble from Dix. And his name is, let me scroll back to the beginning of the chapter here. He is Deputy Marshal Dixon Wildhorse. So, and they're talking about the Indian Territory. So it sounds like at least Dixon is part African American, part Native American. But I don't know if Catherine and her father are, or if her father was just living in Indian Territory. So I don't I'm not 100% sure there, but not that it really matters too much. But I mean, representation is fun, kind of a thing. And I guess Dix is like a cowboy, and he's the deputy marshal, and he was thought to be dead. And so Catherine's father took all of his cattle and sold it to the army. And now Dix wants his money back because he can't get his cattle back, and he's pretty much spent it all. So he offers his daughter's hand in marriage, and he's just like, I get. And then he says that in the ways of the tribe, he is offering basically all that he has at this point. And so he's like, fine, we'll go meet your daughter. And if she's okay with this, and I am looking for a wife, and if she is comfortable becoming my wife, kind of a thing, then we'll go from there. And then they arrive and they see her place completely ransacked. So now they're going to go and try to save her. And that's where I'm at. So that was a very elaborate explanation for 7%. But this is, like I mentioned, this is the most hooked I've been for a Beverly Jenkins. So I'm really hoping it kind of lives up to my higher expectations. But I'm still but at the same time, I'm still kind of expecting it to be a 4 stars. And then if it blows me away, then I'll be happy. But so yeah, I'm going to get my jersey off and get my pajamas on and finish listening to all my post-game shows. And then I'll probably watch Married at First Sight because last week's preview was bananas. And I talked to my boss when we scored our 9th goal, and McKinnon got the hat trick, and I called her because there was like a pause while they cleaned up all the hats off the ice. So I called her and I was like, oh my God, there's 10 minutes left and there's 9 goals left, and they have 9 goals. And I was like, I'm so wired. Because when I left work, I told her I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to watch Married at First Sight tonight because I'll probably be exhausted. But, 9 goals where I'm cheering and screaming and doing the dances and the woot-woots. And I'm just like so hyped right now, even though it's past my bedtime. But guys, I love hockey. I love hockey. And if they're gonna break the record, to break the record like this is just, I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, I can't wait till playoff starts. The Avs last game is April 30th, and I saw a commercial that playoffs start May 3rd, I think. I haven't seen any announcement of what games are kind of scheduled. I know a lot of the actual placements are still kind of in flux, but usually they announce seed 1, seed 8 game is here and that kind of thing. But they're probably waiting to kind of see who the big names are so those can get primetime slots. But I can't wait. So you still have to listen to me talk about hockey for at least another month. Just saying. All right. That's 20 minutes of me just rambling on again. But I'm excited and I'm happy. And I have no one to talk to about it. So you guys get it all. So, all right. I'm going to get ready to go to bed and relax and listen to my post-game interviews. And I will see you all tomorrow. I did it again. It is Saturday morning. Surprise! I'm getting yelled at, like always. I just made breakfast, and I was going to watch Moon Knight finally for this week and eat my breakfast. And my PlayStation has an update, so I'm waiting for it to update. So I figured I'd film this now. So... let me do a small recap for the past 2 days. So Thursday, the Avalanche game was on. They won again. Woohoo! There's 8 games left in the season. They have won 4 out of the 12 remaining when I last updated you. So that's super duper exciting. I cannot wait till May when we start playoffs. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. I got my coffee in my Avengers mug. So Thursday night, I stopped with Topaz at 24%. So I was like, okay, fine. I wanted to finish it Thursday because yesterday, Friday, started the Dark Romance Readathon. And I thought, okay, I'll just do Saturday, Sunday, Monday for the readathon. My goal was to read at least one book because that's what I read last year because I wasn't really in the mood for dark romance at the time. And then I thought I had the weekend to myself like usual. And then my roommate came home last night, even though he was leaving when I got home. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So all of the plans that I had to do this weekend kind of went away. So that's fun. I don't know. Hopefully he'll leave today. But anyway, I was like, okay, I just was in a funky headspace last night. And now I'm only at 36% in of Topaz. And here is my thing. I am struggling picking it up. So when I'm reading Topaz, I'm liking it. I mean, Beverly Jenkins is an amazing writer. She's really good. She's really engaging. But I'm finding myself, like, if I need to put it down to go to the bathroom, or if I need to go do something, or, you know, oh, I want to get up and put my PJs on and then get in bed and read, or something like that, I'm finding myself pushing to end the chapter because I want to end at the beginning of a chapter just for ease of getting back into it, versus me needing to get to the end of the chapter because I'm so enthralled in what's going to happen next, which is something that I've struggled with the other Beverly Jenkins books I've read. I don't know, and maybe this is just me, because I know a lot of people really love her books, and maybe it's just not what I want in a romance, but her steamy scenes, I don't really feel, I guess, the tension between the two characters. I more feel like we're being told that there's tension between them than feeling or showing the tension. Like, they're kissing and they're getting kind of hot and bothered because it was their kiss when they got married. And it just, I don't know. It, like, the words themselves are fine. I feel like it's always like, maybe it's always, I don't know. I feel like it's always like, that's it. So it feels like it ends abruptly, or like the first half is, like, even for a simple kiss scene, like the first couple sentences will be like more descriptive, and then it's like, and then like the rest of the scene is almost like sped up or glossed over or something. I don't know. It's just really weird the way it comes across to me, and I just don't feel the tension between them. And like it says, she feels all warm and gooey, and I'm just like, does she? Because I didn't feel that from the tension. So I don't know. And I'm finding it very easy to put it down and not pick back up. But when I'm reading it, it's really good and I'm enjoying it. So I don't know if it's just something with Beverly's writing style that just doesn't connect with my reading style. I don't know. It's like I'm enjoying it when I'm reading it. But I'm finding myself being like, oh, I could play a hand of canasta and listen to a podcast on my phone versus reading. Which is what I did during the intermissions of the game on Thursday night, instead of reading. And maybe I'm just not in the mood for historical right now, and I kind of pigeonholed myself jumping into these. So here is my dilemma. I can either try to push through it today and finish it, or read something else and come back to it. I really wanted to get it done before Monday, but I don't. Oh my goodness, you are full of it this morning. Come here. She was licking my sausage, so I took my plate away Or like I rotated it so she couldn't get to the sausage. And then she was licking my eggs. And I was just like, so then I took my plate away from her. And now she's just running around screaming and being naughty, trying to get my attention. I have orange juice too. So yeah, my PlayStation's almost done updating, so I'm gonna eat breakfast and watch the 3rd episode of Moon Knight and then kind of decide what I want to do. But no matter what, I probably won't be finishing Topaz today, so I'm gonna kind of cut off the reading portion of the vlog today. So whatever I continue on this weekend will be on next week's vlog, because otherwise we might go on for a while, since I'm struggling with the will to pick up Topaz. But I don't want to like discredit it at all. Like I said, when I'm reading it, once I have the onus to pick it up and actually read it, I'm enjoying it. It just is too easy for my brain right now to do something else than read Topaz. So I might start the Dark Romance readathon and then come back to it later this weekend. But anyway, so we need to catch up on calendar and then we will wrap things up. So Wednesday. Really? Want to say hi to everybody? Say, I'm sorry for screaming. No? What's over there? Now you're quiet, now that I'm touching you. Hey. Can I have a kiss? No? Yeah, you were the fussiest little kitty. Okay, so Wednesday, we arrived at Don Hollow. So let us catch up. Ooh, we have a tavern wench. You step. Oh my gosh. You stop inside the Leering Leper, and it is quite the unpleasant name for a place to stay. Inside is actually well decorated, clean, and bustling with lively activity. The rooms seem a bit pricey, but this place is a little more upscale than the name would imply. So we have 3 things we can do: chat with the bartender, roll a d20 plus charisma, enjoy a free drink, roll d20 plus constitution, and then optional, if you choose, pay 4 gold for a rest. Okay, so we will chat with the bartender for show, even though we're not very charismatic, but that's okay. All right, I will get my bath out. Doot, doot, doot. Okay, so our charisma is rubbed off. Our charisma is a -1, I think. Oh, I'm backwards. Okay, yeah. Our charisma is a -1. Okay. Okay, the barmaid Cindy is a friendly soul that enjoys serving drinks. She chats you up and tells you the story of the Leering Leper and how it survived the Great Plague decades ago by offering sick people a place to stay when no others would. This helped establish the place as a landmark. She hopes to hear a good story from you. I rolled a 2, so that's a 1. If the result is 10 or less, Cindy appears to listen and enjoy what you have to say. She smiles and wishes you a good evening. She's like, okay, traveler. Okay, enjoy a free drink. Someone recognizes you from the Tournament of Lords and buys you a drink to congratulate you. You are given the strongest honey mead you had ever tasted. It is sweet, but difficult to keep down. Okay, so that is our constitution, which is just a 0. And that is a 16. Nice. So The result is 11 or more. You enjoy the drink and finish it proudly. Even the barmaid nods in acknowledgement of your fortitude. Well, that's good. So we can pay 4 gold to take a rest. I don't think... We only have 1 damage, and we can easily take care of that with a potion that we have. So I'm just not going to rest, and we'll save our gold since we bought all those level ups. So that is it for Thursday. So let us see what yesterday's was. Oh, okay. We are just immediately moving on to the Scorched Sands. Part of me kind of wants to put all of the like map days together and see if we can form a like full-size map. Okay, you leave the town of Downhollow and head south to the Scorched Sands desert. Eventually, the road ends since people stop traveling this way. The sands begin to cover everything. Okay, so it looks like we've got 2 routes here. So take the eastern route, roll d20 plus wisdom, reminder survivalist, map, compass, and mount. Or take the western route, roll d20 plus wisdom, same thing, survivalist, map, compass, and mount. So it looks like we can either have more water nearby and then come down and curve in, or we can kind of go down by this mountain range and then hit a little bit of water and go in. I'm going to say go this way because just from what I know about deserts, it's hard traveling. So I feel like this way might give us a little more shade and help kind of keep the heat away from us quite as bad. So we're going to go this route, which would be the western route because if you didn't know that, when you look at a compass or when you look at a map, it's west-east. And so it's always W-E. So that's how I remember it. But anyway, so we're going to take the western route. You take the route that keeps you closer to the resources of the lake and mountains. You believe it might have been easier to traverse along until you get to the desert and need to search the harsher environment. Okay, so we have Reminder Survivalist, which we do not have. But Map and Compass will give us 2, and then our Mount will also give us some. And, oh my goodness, that is a 4. So we are a +6. Can I help you? I didn't move this so you could stand in the way. And then our wisdom is a +1. So we are a +7, which is exciting. Okay. We rolled a 13, so we are at 20. The result is between 16 and 20. You must consume 3 rations. Okay, we've got 6 rations, so we are good. And then it says if you do not have enough rations, reduce your health for 1 for each you don't have. But we are fine. We are good. We are down to 3 rations. And that is it. So we are traveling through the Scorched Sands. And I will get this marked up here so I don't forget. We are now at 1, 2, 3. Okay. And that is all for the quest calendar. And so I'm going to end this vlog here. I know not too much happened, but you know, sometimes if you're not feeling a book, you just got to do what feels right and not force yourself to read something. So I think I am probably going to change it just so I can come back to it with a refreshed mind. So I will look at what my Dark Romance Readathon TBR is and pick that up and go from there. But until then, I hope you have a nice week and I will see you all very soon. Bye.